I'm Mary. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Matt Shechter. I'm the General Counsel with UFCW Local 7.
Thanks for taking time to talk to us today. I just have a few questions. Where do you things stand right now with the strike?
Yeah, so we are entering our third week of the strike. The workers are very strong. They're out here every day picketing. They have been coming out and staying and letting the company know that these unfair labor practices have to stop.
Are you in touch with other plants and workers outside of Greeley right now? And what does that coordination look like, if any?
Yeah, we absolutely are. And so we know that there are workers at other plants who are supporting us here. We have had presidents from other UFCW locals who represent other JBS plants here with us on the picket line. And in some of those other plants, they are showing solidarity in various forms.
Do you feel like this is hitting JBS where it matters yet? What do you think would need to have happen for them to really feel the impact of the strike?
Well, I think JBS is feeling the impact of the strike. The production here in Greeley has almost totally ceased. Uh, Also, the quality of what's being produced is essentially so low without these union workers that JBS isn't really able to sell it at normal prices, and so they're absolutely feeling this. This plant is somewhere north of 5% of the U.S. Entire beef production for the United States, and so not having that is certainly something JBS is feeling. I will tell you, JBS knows that wages here are related to wages nationally. And what JBS really is interested in is keeping wages down nationally by refusing to come to the table and negotiate with these workers.
Are there rumors being spread by JBS or the media outlets or others about union pay or strike support you want to clarify?
I'm not in the business of uh, acknowledging that what the company's doing in terms of rumors. I will tell you, the companies always during strikes they play dirty tricks and they put that misinformation out there. Our workers know better. We've been talking to our workers and we make sure that they know everything that's going on every step of the way.
I'm curious, do you know what's going on with the construction in the middle of the strike area? Did you know about that? And how is that affecting people who are trying to walk the picket line?
Yeah, it is a long planned construction project that the city was doing, so we are aware of it. Honestly, in some ways, it's workers have to walk a little further, but in some ways, it's actually helping with safety because there's not traffic flowing through there. So we're working with the city and trying to be as cooperative as possible in trying to make this strike as easy as possible in terms of logistics for workers and logistics for the city.
And has the city been supportive of you guys for the most part?
I think the city has absolutely worked with us. Obviously, Island Grove, where we are right now, is city property that we're leasing from the city for this help facilitate strike. And so, I do think the city has been supportive. We've had a number of the city council members out here on the picket line with us, and really happy to see that.
How does it feel to see community members showing up every day with food, water, Gatorade, support? What has that meant for workers on the line?
It means so much to workers, and really, it's just wonderful seeing that. It really goes to show that Greeley really is a united, strong community. The workers at the JBS plant, their roots run deep into Greeley, and the impact of the workers at this plant is felt throughout Greeley. And so I'm really proud to see community members out here supporting the workers, just like workers support the community members in all sorts of ways.
How long do you think this could go on? And do you think people are getting things wrong about the strike, or do you think it's a pretty understandable thing within the community?
Yeah, I think most people do understand what's happening. They understand that the price of living here in Greeley is going up. Just a few years ago, Greeley was not nearly as expensive. And now that more and more people are moving to Greeley, um, housing prices are going up, healthcare prices are going up, food prices are going up. And they understand that these workers need to be able to support their families. And all of the money that they receive, of course, from JBS is money that ends up coming back into this community.
What keeps people out here right now? Why are folks still holding the line?
Folks are holding the line. It's a pride thing because they know that JBS has to show them respect. And they'll be out here until JBS shows them that respect. That's what they want to see from JBS. They want an end to these unfair labor practices and basic common decency from this company. And these workers have pride in themselves and they have pride in the work that they do, and they should. And until the company shows that back to them, they're going to be out here standing strong.
What has surprised you most since the strike began? What's been the hardest part for the workers personally, do you think?
Well, I mean, honestly, this has not been like a march that I've ever seen in Colorado before. We've had multiple 90-degree days out on the picket line. It's hot. We've had mornings where it's been 18 degrees. It's cold. Just being out in the elements is really hard, but it's not unusual for these workers, many of whom work in incredibly hot and humid conditions or freezing cold inside that plant. And so, for workers, just making sure, some of it is just making sure they have the right, clothing and layering and that sort of a thing, and making sure they stay hydrated and all of that. So a lot of that has been tough for workers. I think really, though, they've been just so strong.
Um, where are you seeing the most solidarity amongst this movement? Do you think it's the community? Do you think it's the workers? Do you think it's all of it?
I think it's everything. So it's the community standing with these workers. It's the workers standing together and demanding respect and ignoring the company's lies and misconceptions. It's the general public, the consumers, who see the rising cost of beef day after day and understand that the concentration in this industry, there's only 4 companies in the beef industry that control 80 to 85% of the beef market in the entire United States. What does that mean? That means higher costs for consumers. And people understand that, and they're with these workers because their fight is the workers' fight. Same with the farmers and ranchers. Farmers and ranchers have to sell products to JBS. When you have only 4 buyers for your product, it really makes it much harder to make a living. Those buyers can really choose whether or not they're going to manipulate the market. And when they do that, it hurts farming and ranching families too.
So, what would you say to the people at the top about their income comparatively to the people that are working in these spots? Do you think the money should come from consumers paying more or the top bringing it down to the workers?
Well, I'll put it this way. The president of JBS in the U.S., Wesley Batista Filo, was born into a family of billionaire crooks, really. I mean, these are people who can't, the Batista brothers, his uncle and his dad, that generation ultimately was convicted of bribery in Brazil, and they built a corrupt organization. They're not even allowed to come into the United States. And Wesley was born into them. And here he is, a billionaire at 33 years old, handed the keys to the kingdom. They have plenty of money to put in the pockets of these workers. And workers aren't asking a lot. What the company's offering is less than 1.5% per year in terms of average annual wage increases. That does not even come close to just keeping up with the basic cost of living. This isn't about passing through these wages to consumers. It's about those at the top doing what just didn't give mess.
Thank you so much